Hey folks, Wilfie here. Taking a quick break from the usual gaming and mayhem that we put on this channel to talk about a different topic. I'm sure the video headline here gives away where I come down on this, but holy shit, have I ever unleashed an avalanche of stupid. Yes, I'm talking about sovereign citizens. These are very foolish, silly, stupid, bandwagoning people who essentially don't want to pay their taxes, don't want to pay for much of anything, think they should be free to take whatever they please without compensating the owner, and that anything public land type resources are just free for all, up for grabs. Take what you want and screw everyone else. Now, there's a lot more to the sovereign movement than those basics, but really it boils down to just those basics. They've got a huge, ridiculously complex mythos built up about how America is a corporation, how when they're born, they're given a given name, of course, and then a corporate straw man is put together, and that's what appears on the birth certificate. These people think that their birth certificates are worth like $650,000 cash. They have a lot of cross overlap, I suppose, with the tax protesters, another batch of idiots. And there are some redemption scams associated with the sovereign citizen movement too. Some of these fools actually take those supposedly super valuable birth certificates and try to cash them in to pay off debts. They also threaten judges. They file false liens against politicians or courtroom staff they don't agree with, and they are famous for getting restrained or thrown out of courtrooms because they just can't shut their mouths. I've included a link down in the description here to the Rational Wiki page on sovereign citizens. It's a hilarious read. I recommend everybody viewing this video go take a look. Because these guys are just a circus as far as entertainment value. They're largely harmless. They every once in a while, an individual sovereign will decide to arm himself and go nuts threatening somebody, usually a judge or a court officer or court employee, a sheriff, a district attorney, a lawyer. Basically, everybody involved in enforcing those pesky laws they don't like, they occasionally go target those people. But they're really harmless because really few of them have ever done much of anything very threatening. Local cops, especially up in top thinker territory like Montana, sorry to say, guys, more in the rustic, more wooded states in the United States, the local law enforcement there does consider these guys to be a bit more of a hazard because they tend to arm themselves, and they also do things that cause interaction with the police on a regular basis. They don't believe they need driver's licenses or to register their cars to drive on public roads. They eagerly fish where they're supposed to have a license, a whopping $26 license in one example, and get really bent out of shape when they get cited or fined or arrested for fishing without a license. One guy that the video that I commented on that really unleashed this torrent of idiots, the video features such a person who was busted for not having a $26 fishing license. He went fishing at a municipal stock pond. That is a privately, or an artificial body of water deliberately constructed to replenish fish stocks. And they allow fishing there, which is the best part. But he went fishing there without a license instead of this nice forest stream like he wants people to think. And he got cited. He mouthed off to the cops, so he got himself arrested and charged with resisting arrest and the fishing thing. So he had his day in court. He took a stand for himself and he argued his points eloquently. He got 30 days in jail for contempt of court, and he was ordered to pay a $500 fine. This is the kind of success that you can anticipate from the sovereign citizens. They are incompetent, they are incredibly stupid, they are stubborn, ignorant, and they like it that way. They view any legal defeat as more proof that the government or the system is corrupt and out to get them. They do this because there are no legal victories for them to rely on. They've literally never won in court on any of the legal theories they offer. I mean, and some of it's ridiculous. They'll claim that courtrooms in the United States are subject to naval law, like naval admiralty law. If a sovereign irritates a judge enough that the judge calls a recess and leaves the room, a sovereign is likely to declare abandoned ship, as if that somehow affects things. They really do subscribe to their own brand of woo, and it's just delightful to watch these people stumble over each other and themselves trying to proffer and defend these ridiculous legal ideas. The reason I'm making this video is honestly to antagonize the shitheels I'm arguing with. Because honestly, they can't help themselves, and it's so fun to watch them rage impotently. Just for pointing out that this particular guy, and I'll link to the comment thread because it's just comical. 350 plus comments now. About half of those are mine, just responding to different people back and forth, having a very intelligent debate about my weight, my hobbies, my channel content, because those things all apparently prove that the sovereign citizen movement is true or correct. Arguing with all the wake up now idiots has really kind of helped prepare me to identify the same kind of arguments and strategies that these idiots are using. And no, the irony of debunking Wake Up Now and arguing with a group of people who constantly tell people to wake up, that's not lost on me. I've been called fat, grotesque, ugly, which, we've seen that shit before, and really, who's going to argue with that? I've been called a shill, a sheep, a pig. I've been told that I deserve to die. Death wishes over telling somebody that, no, you kind of have to pay for stuff. You can't just take what you want. That's how impotently furious these people get. Not one of them so far. Not one. And I've interacted with probably 24 of these asshats by now. Not one of them has actually been able to explain to me what they're angry about. And the reason why, of course, is because they don't know. Most of them have hopped on the bandwagon and hopped onto a movement that sounds cool because it happens to agree with something they don't like. And in most cases, it's taxes or fees or other interactions with the government that involve paying it something. More hypocritical than any of this is the fact that most of these idiots take money from the government. Like, they receive welfare, social security benefits, disability benefits, food stamps, you name it. They're cheerfully happy to interact with the government when it's ponying up money of its own. They only get upset with it when it decides it's time to pay your taxes or pay your dues. But, all these armchair activists who claim that the system is corrupt, they can't actually explain why. You'll get the usual generic, oh, well, corporations suck. Doesn't really help anything, but that's the most you'll get out of them. And it's just hilarious. You can press them all you want for details, but they can never produce them. They have no idea what they're railing against. And they get angry. The more you ask them, the more frustrated they get. Because you just don't obviously understand. You can't see the obviousness of it. You're a shill. You're a sheep. a pig for the slaughter. Yet they can't articulate who's going to slaughter me. I mean, who am I a sheep for? Who's the shepherd? Who's my corporate overlord master? If I'm a shill, who the hell's paying me? And why the fuck hasn't the check arrived yet? Anyway. And all these attacks that come my direction remind me a lot of Wake Up Now and the people who supported that scam. You'll notice they've mostly fallen off by the wayside as that company falls apart. I'm still going to gloat like a madman when they finally do collapse, but that'll be another video. But the similarities between the two groups of people, both bitching at me and trying to argue, is that they go for insults. They don't have any arguments of substance, so they just go for the cheap shots. My favorite is when somebody who's either just jumping into an argument or has been bickering with me for a while goes through my channel history to dig up the dirt on old Wilfie here. And they usually come across different live streams or video game footage, because that's a lot of what I post to my channel. What's really funny is they never go back far enough to catch my really potentially offensive stuff, like my videos about atheism and my support of it. Ironically, they don't go far enough back to catch some of my rants about how broken various things are, and they might actually they have missed the point that I actually have my own complaints about how society works and how our government works. But no, they assume that because I oppose some idea they have, or because I'm making fun of how stupid they are and how badly behaved they are, I must be just a part of the system. But anyway, it invariably comes back around to, well, you just play video games, why the fuck should we listen to you? I don't know, because I'm speaking English and I have a brain bigger than a pea. That's one idea. It's just so comical. Like, they think that makes any difference at all to the discussion. I could be a 900-pound land whale who lives fat and happy off the government, and I would still be right, but if I said the sovereign citizens movement is composed of idiots. Because it is. You know, there's really not a whole lot else to say about these imbeciles. It's just really funny that they immediately jump onto insults because they have nothing of their own, no substance, no arguments that actually make any sense. They don't even understand the movement they subscribe to. They hopped on the bandwagon. They haven't thought about it. They can't tell me what they'd like to change. They can't tell me what they'd like to improve. They can't tell me how they want to achieve those changes. I've asked several times if they could explain or describe their perfect world. Well, you want to change something? Tell me. Tell me how your perfect ideal world would operate. What would your daily life be like? What would mine be like? Well, we know the answer to that. According to some of these people, I'd be killed in the revolution or slaughtered with the rest of the pigs. So I guess there's about 400,000 of these assholes by recent estimates. So the other 300 plus million of us in America, bad news, we're slated for execution or slaughter. I guess that makes sense because they need something to eat. I don't know, I'm probably really marbly and tough and stringy, but whatever. But they can't even tell you that. They don't know what their perfect world looks like because they just haven't thought this through. And that's what I love about any political movement, but especially this one, because it's just attracted such a pile of freeloading layabout losers who bitch and moan about government and how we're taxed unfairly and too many laws, too many rules, too many regulations, too many taxes and fees. Meanwhile, they drive on public roads. They make their complaints online on a network that was the result of Department of Defense research in the 60s and is a basically public utility, using electricity that comes to them from a nationally standardized and stable electric grid, produced by power plants built with rigorous standards that for the most part protect us from environmental harm and health issues. They enjoy all the benefits of government, but they don't want to pay the price tag. They enjoy the fruits of society's labor, but they don't want to contribute themselves. They just want to sit back, lean back comfortably in their chairs, and let everybody else do all the work while they enjoy life. So, they're just freeloading losers like a lot of other groups. That's really all I had. In case any of these sovruns have actually followed and listened to this whole video, which I doubt because they have the attention span of a hamster from what I've seen. Just like Wake Up Now, all the names have changed with as far as people I'm arguing with. But if any of you are actually listening and you've trudged through this whole video without vomiting in rage or exploding with fury, just like to offer a heartfelt fuck you. And really the only thing left to say is, get a fucking job. Go do something productive for the world around you, instead of just sponging off us like you really want to. So anyway, follow the links down in the description if you'd like some comedy. And I will see everybody next time. Take care.